The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
These are the words that no Vancouver Canucks fan wants to hear. The deal is 1 for 1.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, giving it a second try. Let us know if we are choppy off the start of this. I guess this may be karma for playing with the devil. Okay, for real. Anyways, it's Locked On Canucks, where we talk about the Vancouver Canucks and trading Quinn Hughes. I can't believe we're here. But that's life. That's life when, who knows what's next. Anyways, my name's Kyle Bhawan. That right there's Trevor Beggs. One love to the Don't Does Art Lab for giving us the West Coast bias. And boom, let's play devil's advocate, because this is about to be a mainstream topic of conversation across the board again, especially if the Canucks do fail in November, right? Because it's going to be like, okay, the end is near for Quinn Hughes. They're going to bring up the New Jersey Devils. And, you know, it is what it is. If there's still a chance to get Simon Nemec in a trade back, again, that's going to be the main topic, Trevor. And is time running out on that being a possibility? Because I don't think so, because Quinn Hughes is generational to me.
I think the time is ticking on it. I don't know if it's necessarily running out, but the Simon Nemec's stock is only going up. And look, it's been a bit of a rough ride for him ever since he was drafted by the Devils back in 2021, I believe, second overall, the big Slovak defenseman. He had a hat trick last night, right? Like his value has never been higher. Does Quinn Hughes have a hat trick in the NHL? I don't quite think he does, but regardless, the New Jersey Devils see Simon Nemec as their number one right side defenseman for years and years to come. That was the reason they drafted him at second overall in the first place. I mean, this guy in his draft year was projecting to be a Rasmus Dahlin type player. And although his trajectory hasn't quite gone that way, this is a player that the Devils don't want to give up. And of course, like, we're all putting high value on Quinn Hughes, but the complicated aspect of this is that I think everyone knows he wants to play in New Jersey. The Devils sure shit know that he wants to play in New Jersey. So how much are they realistically going to give up for Quinn Hughes? And look, there's value in getting Quinn Hughes for sure. 2 years, 2 playoff runs before he becomes a free agent. But Kyle, I was even thinking last night when I was guesting on Strictly Canucks Talk with Tambir and Nick Bondi, the founder of Locked On Canucks. He doesn't like when I say that, but I'm saying it again. I was suggesting that, like, maybe you could get Nemec and a first and maybe another first or a second. So let's call it a first, a second, and Simon Nemec for Quinn Hughes. But would the Devils even be willing to give up that much for Quinn Hughes? I mean, I think it's not a fair deal, but it might be the best that you're able to get out of the New Jersey Devils if you're going to make this trade.
I think it's still a fair deal, man. Look at this comment. NGK saying you still get Quinn Hughes at under $8 million for 2 seasons, 2 playoff runs, right? That's huge. And yeah, Simon Nemec is right-handed and he's big and strong and he's having a great start to this season. And this could be the start to, you know, even a Hall of Fame career for him. But he's no Quinn Hughes. I mean, Quinn Hughes is compared to Bobby Orr for a reason. Quinn Hughes is compared to Cale Makar for a reason. Brian Leetch for a reason, right? Like that's why I still think there is a possibility that the Canucks could take advantage of not a desperate New Jersey Devils team, but again, a team that's getting a generational talent. And then you get 2 cracks at it before you have to sign it to an extension. And that's huge. That's huge. It really is. Like who knows how long Jacob Markstrom is going to play like a, I don't know, $6 million goaltender when sometimes he looks like a $3 million goaltender, right? Like you got to take advantage of the moment, and maybe this is dumb. Oh, I was about to say something, but then I'm like, yo, if I'm a Devils fan, like, aren't you thinking, yo, let's just wait a year and a half? Like, we could possibly win without him and then get him later, right? And that's why I want to just ask, like, has the ship sailed? And even if it has, I feel like the Vancouver Canucks, they have to do do the most to, like, maximize the return for Quinn Hughes. And if it is the Devils and that type of partnership, in a trade that's happening, like it starts and ends with Simon Nemec. I don't care about the KCs. I don't care about this person and that person. I don't care about 5 or 6 first round picks. It might take you, you might go 0 for 6 with those first round picks in comparison to like a player like Simon Nemec, right? Like if he is there and he's a little bit available, just a little bit available, if they give you that type of inkling that, yeah, you guys are out of it, Quinn Hughes is not staying, we want Quinn Hughes, and we may give you Simon Nemec. Even if they say we may, you got to just keep ringing the phone, making the call. And to me, it just starts and ends with there. Now, Trevor, what if they didn't throw in draft picks?
The New Jersey Devils.
What if it was, like you said it off the top, like what if it was 1 for 1? I'm scared. I don't think it's worth it. I'm just saying, like, if they take Simon Nemec, it's like Simon Nemec for Quinn Hughes, a defenseman that's about to leave. And if they take Quinn Hughes to any other team and it's like, you're not getting 4 first-round picks and this player and that player, would it be much better for this team to just, like, take Nemec?
No, and I'm going to tell you why. I think for the obvious reason that Quinn Hughes is worth much more than Simon Nemec. But the other big reason is Quinn Hughes has 0 trade protection. You're not pigeonholed into trading him to the New Jersey Devils. And again, we're talking about potentially trading him this season if this season keeps going in the direction where it looks like it's going. You can trade Quinn Hughes to any of the 31 teams in the NHL. He has 0 trade protection. And there are going to be other teams that will pay a premium to have Quinn Hughes on their team for the next 2 seasons, for the next 2 playoff runs, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen pretty insane prices at the trade deadline, even if it's not like a legitimate sign and trade. Like, you see players get traded for like a first round pick and a prospect, even though they're good players, like a top 6 center or a top 4 defenseman, and they're not Quinn Hughes, right? So you can shop it around. And I firmly believe that you can get a much better deal than just 1 for 1 with Simon Nemec or a lowball offer from the New Jersey Devils if you trade Quinn Hughes to somewhere else in the NHL. I don't care if it's in the Western Conference. It doesn't matter where it is. You trade Quinn Hughes to the team that's going to give you the best offer in return. And unless that team's willing to be the New Jersey Devils, the Canucks got to hang up the phone. If it's Nemec for Hughes, I'm hanging up the phone and say, okay, you can sign him in free agency.
Okay, but what if, like, what package? Again, you got to talk more about Simon Nemec as a player, because I don't watch him closely. I just see the highlights and he's breaking out this year, and he had some moments in the playoffs last year as well where he looked strong, right? Like he's rising up the ranks, right? But all in all, what package is worth more than a 21-year-old number 1 defenseman potentially? Tell me. You're going to get the team's best. You're going to get another team's best first-round pick from 2024, 2025, and then a couple more first-round picks. Like, is that worth more than a legitimate potential number 1 defenseman if Simon Nemec is that guy? Like, I know I'm not all in for accelerating the rebuild. I want to do it the right way. If the Canucks, again, go down that path. Again, Quinn Hughes may not even play tomorrow. The Canucks are just going through injury after injury after injury. Just seems like a really dark time. All in all, though, I still put a lot of value in just getting a 20-year-old number 1 defenseman potentially back that happens to be right-handed. Like, there's a lot of, like, that could start the like, it's no Matthew Schaefer, it's not Connor Bedard, it's not Macklin Celebrini, but that's a good start post Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm thinking about the Mikko Rantanen deal, and I know that was a sign and trade when he went to the Stars. But even when he went to the Carolina Hurricanes, it was Martin Necas in return, right? You're talking about one of the premier offensive players in the league in Martin Necas, and probably comparable value for Necas is a roster player and a pick, right? At the very least, a prospect, a roster player and a first round pick. Like, you got to be targeting a package like that at bare minimum if you're trading Quinn Hughes. I mean, he's the best player in franchise history. You cannot be selling him to the New Jersey Devils just because he wants to go there, and just because that's where he's likely to sign long term. I'm guaranteeing you there are other teams around the NHL that are going to pay a premium to have Quinn Hughes on their team for 2 playoff runs. 100%.
And 100%. But again, to play devil's advocate, you don't trade Quinn Hughes for nothing less than a superstar, a potential superstar like Connor Bedard. as Lefty is saying. And again, have you pulled out the fancy stats already in this episode? I know you did in the previous stream where we lagged out, so I may be like blurring, my vision may be blurry, but just talk about Simon Nemec, the comparisons, what he's doing this year, your thoughts ultimately on what he can become, because obviously I'm smoking the hat trick and I'm being hopeful. And at the end of the day, I just want people to know, like, I don't want to trade Quinn Hughes, and I'm going to sleep knowing we're going to lose that trade. So all in all, just continue, Trevor, about Nemec.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been, a bit up and down for Simon Nemec since he got drafted by the New Jersey Devils, spent some time in the AHL, and, he plays 60 games in 23-24 and then spends a good chunk of last season in the minors. He only had 2 goals and 4 points last year. But so far this season, he's got 4 goals. I mean, 3 of them did come last night. He's got 12 points in 17 games. He's doing it playing 18 minutes a night. I mean, those are pretty fantastic numbers for the young defenseman. And, he's a bit sheltered there. He's not facing the toughest competition. He's still not great defensively. But some of the comparables include a guy like Victor Hedman, right? Like Victor Hedman's another guy drafted 2nd overall, similar stature to Simon Nemec. I mean, that's what you're looking for in the potential of Simon Nemec. So, again, 1 for 1, I still do not like that trade in the slightest. I think you got to shop it elsewhere if that's the case.
Awesome.
But Simon Nemec is a hell of a hockey player, and I firmly believe he's going to be a number 1 right side defenseman for a long time here in the NHL. So, I mean, the Devils, if they want Quinn Hughes early, they got to pay Nemec and then more, and Devils fans are going to laugh and say, ha, 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 we're going to get him in 2 years. But 2 playoff runs is a long time. A lot can happen in 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's value in the Devils doing that, especially considering that they still have, a number of good right side defensemen, even if one of them is Dougie Hamilton, who, they might trade or let walk in free agency in the near future as well.
No, 100%. And again, emphasis on 2 years is still a lot of time. Like, a lot can happen in those 2 years, like a knock on wood, but another shoulder injury to Jack Hughes or something, for real.
Yeah.
And again, just want to bring this up before we sign off of the trade Quinn Hughes thing, because I know it's early and it's like, is there a point of doing this? I don't know. But at the end of the day, the Devils and the Canucks, they're related. They've been talked about. And now Nemec, another defenseman, is like rising up the ranks. Like, again, this is going to be a main topic of conversation for a lot of people, not just us moving forward if the Canucks do slip. All in all, though, we have to have the conversation about the Canucks maximizing Quinn Hughes' trade value, due in large part to A, the obvious, but B, like, I don't want the league to start recognizing that Quinn Hughes may be injury prone. This guy gets injured a lot. He does.
He's also a battler too. And there's a part of me wondering if the injuries are catching up to him, but he played through that crazy hand injury last year, wearing the brace, and he was still electric for this team. He almost played at the Four Nations with a torn freaking oblique. He's a tough SOB, right? And it doesn't help that he's playing 27 minutes a night here for your Vancouver Canucks. That's the highest average ice time in the entire NHL so far this season. So I don't necessarily think he's injury prone, even though he's I guess in the last 12 months he has been injury prone in a sense. But my point is that he's battled through a lot of it.
He's had so many injuries. He plays on the Canucks, a team that doesn't defend their teammates, So like, and he plays a lot of minutes. Like, it equates to him, being bruised up. And Trevor, again, emphasis on like him being a warrior. Like, he'll play no matter what, right? And that's cool and that's dope. I'm just trying to say, I hope the narrative doesn't start spewing across the league, and that inevitably washes down his trade value, because it's so important for the Canucks, if they do rebuild, if they have to reset the cupboards, if they have to trade Quinn Hughes, to maximize their profits. Because, if the Canucks are going to restart this whole thing, he's their only asset that's going to bring them the tools in order to rebuild. Like, other teams have multiple guys before they decide to rebuild. The Canucks only have one guy they can trade to start this whole thing over. And I just don't want that being watered down to the slightest, for real. So good for you, Trevor. I love what you're doing for the propaganda for the Canucks side. No matter what, you're getting the most for this guy. It's never going to be a 1-for-1 thing involving the Devils or any other player. Appreciate you, and that's why you're the mayor of Vancouver, man.
Yeah, the mayor of Vancouver, Lyndon Surrey, man. Figure that one out. Let us know in the comments, if Quinn Hughes is going to get traded this season, what do you want to see in return? And give us your trade proposals. Give us your team. Maybe we'll read a couple here as we wrap up on Locked On Canucks On the other side, let's get to some less exciting but more recent news. And some important news is the Canucks reportedly are interested in David Kampf. That's coming up next here on Locked On Canucks. Oh, baby, let's shout out our friends over at DripDrop. DripDrop, and you don't stop, okay? Because when I'm hydrated, everything just works better. My focus, my energy, my mood, even my skin. Oh, yeah, look at this skin, baby. That's why I've been using DripDrop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what my day looks like. DripDrop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. I use DripDrop in the morning, baby. I roll out of bed. I have my DripDrop in my drink, and I don't stop from there. And it tastes amazing, okay? A lot of healthy stuff. It doesn't taste all that great, all right? We'd rather just go to McDonald's, eat some candy. I'm still going through Halloween candy, but DripDrop, it actually tastes amazing, okay? So get on the DripDrop train. Right now, DripDrop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to DripDrop.com and use promo code LOCKDOWNNHL. That's DripDrop.com, promo code LOCKDOWNNHL for 20% off. DripDrop, baby. Keep your body and mind performing at their best with DripDrop. All right, and you know the deal. Do the doer, baby, and go visit our friends over at Doer. Man, oh man, these guys make the sexiest jeans in the entire world. Not only are they stylish, but they're also comfortable. I can wear these jeans to the rink, in the press box, out to a fancy dinner, or I could just wear them, play with my kids, and rolling around because they are, again, stylish, comfortable, and they got 5 times the stretch of traditional denim. Oh, baby. And they're made with Cool Max that regulates your body temperature and wicks moisture so you feel good below the belt, no matter what the weather's doing outside. Simply put, Doer makes the world's most comfortable pants without having to sacrifice style. And you can check out Doer here in Vancouver at 1757 West 4th Avenue. Pick up a pair for yourself or as an amazing holiday gift. Mention our promo code LOCKEDONCANUCKS in store to get 15% off your first order. Or you can check them out online at duer.ca/LockedOnCanucks for 15% off. That's doer.ca/LockedOnCanucks.
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name's Kyle Bhawan, and that right there is Trevor Beggs. And I know. We're preparing for the future, and that's not a good thing because we got hockey tomorrow against the Carolina Hurricanes, with or without Quinn Hughes. And you just never know. Somebody asked in the Discord, join the Discord. They were dancing around like, how do you become more optimistic about the Canucks? Like, how do you enjoy this whole experience a bit more? And how do you get to a point where you start believing in this season again? They asked me that question, and I was like, you know what? I need to see this team go on like a 7-game win streak, like some Moneyball stuff. They need to go win 20 straight games in a row for me to believe that they have a chance. It's just the truth. Because if you look at like what Hughes and Pettersson have done over the last 7 or 8 years, and Demko in that mix as well, like how many times has that core? And this would be a crazy article to write, Trevor. Like, how many times has that core actually won more than 3 straight games? The number is probably so low. It's probably so gross.
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing to do. I mean, they did it a few times in 23-24. They obviously had the 7-game win streak, the Bruce Boudreau bump when he originally came to Vancouver, but it's been few and far between since then, Kyle. And
yeah,
look, I mean, it's just so much has to go right for this offense. And, I do wonder if David Kampf helps us. Oh, man. Again, the Canucks interested in David Kampf. And look, I think there's some pros and cons to signing him that I want to talk to you about, Kyle. But
yep.
For those that don't know, David Kampf, a veteran center in the NHL, 30-year-old Czech player, he's been part of the Toronto Maple Leafs for the last few seasons. He spent 4 years in Toronto. This would have been his 5th season, but he didn't make the 23-man roster. He got sent down to the AHL. No one claimed him on waivers because he's making $2.4 million. And then recently he refused to go on a road trip with the Marlies. So the Leafs ended up terminating his contract. He will be a free agent come tomorrow. And Kyle, I think the first reaction from Canucks fans is, who the F cares? This is Teddy Bluger 2.0. What are you going to do when all these guys become healthy? All valid points. I think there's the other side that, if you bring in a guy like Kampf, maybe you can start to free Pettersson up from some of these heavy defensive matchups he's taking. free him up to maybe get a little bit more offense. That to me is about the only rationale for signing David Kampf, aside from the fact that he would help the penalty kill, he would help in the faceoff dodge. So there are some small victories here. But when I think about the David Kampf potential signing, the big question for me is what happens when all these guys become healthy, right? Like, and again, Canuck luck, they might not all become healthy, but let's assume he heals out long term. Blueger's expected back. Höglander's going to be back in a couple weeks' time, so we're told. Like Macki's on his way back. If they sign Kampf and all those guys come back, you're looking at, Sassen's probably gone to the AHL. Maybe Lecker-Mack even goes to the AHL, but I don't think that's the best thing for this team because they need a guy like with a shot on the team. But it does leave guys like, Max Hassan, Archie Baines, Linus Karlsson, and Lucas Reichel all on the outside looking in this team gets healthy and signs David Kampf.
Oh, no.
And for a Canucks team, but hear me out.
No.
For a Canucks team that is 28th overall in the NHL, is it really worth it to bring in David Kampf for 60 games, let's say, at the expense of, losing Karlsson or Baines on waivers or losing Reichel on waivers? I know none of these guys have done all that much for the Vancouver Canucks, but that's my question to you, Kyle. Is it worth it to bring in David Kampf if you're going to have to waive Baines, Karlsson, or Reichel?
Yeah, like, dude, who cares? Like, waive those guys. Who's picking them up? Honestly speaking,
I don't think anyone's picking up Baines. I think someone would pick up Reichel because he's got a track record, and I think someone could pick up Karlsson. I think those are the two guys that could potentially get picked up right now.
Okay, so be it.
So your team bring on David Kampf then? All right.
Well, just like they need more NHL like centers. Like Reichel's not even getting the job done. Like you're not even like giving him this defensive zone draw. Like you can't. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well. And to be honest, guys, like how do you know when Teddy Blueger's coming back? Adam Foote a couple weeks ago was like, oh, he'll be the first one to come back. Now he's not even on the road trip. Bullshit, but we're used to it, So it is what it is. I'm not really worried about anyone getting waived off this team. For real. That is just the truth. And if we wasted a 4th round pick for Lucas Reichel?
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. Yep.
Isn't that bad asset management, though? You pay a 4th round pick just to bring a guy in for a month. He doesn't work out, and then you waive him.
It is, but we've done that many times, and that's just the way it is, man.
So that's the barometer for this team now is that, who cares if we lose a 4th round pick? It's all good.
Dude, but here's the thing. You could bring in David Kampf, and guess what? He could go on waivers.
Exactly. Yeah. And I do wonder if Kampf would sign with the Canucks thinking that he might go on waivers because this guy clearly doesn't want to be in the AHL. He's told the Toronto Maple Leafs that pretty clearly.
Well, dude, how about you work your ass off and don't get demoted? That could happen on any team. And to be honest, like it shouldn't be happening on the Canucks unless you suck. So it is what it is. I mean, this is exactly why I want to talk about Simon Nemec today, because David Kampf was not going to generate more than 8 minutes of conversation. Trevor, can we talk about Archie Baines for a bit? Because we have Archie Baines back, and again, we have Surrey ties and all this stuff, and we love our neighbors. But I think the fact that he wasn't able to stick as a penalty killer long term, and B, because there's no instinct to this guy's game. He just seems nervous out there every time, and it's unfortunate because he does have the talent, but I think there's just way too much pressure on him. Like he's putting way too much pressure on himself for playing on the Vancouver Canucks. All in all, though, like, are you really going to miss Archie Baines if he gets waived and gets picked up by another team? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There has to be a certain floor to this guy. And this guy has 1 goal in like 40 NHL games or whatever. He barely puts up points. He might have like 4 points in his NHL career. And I just, again, I really, really, really do think if he goes somewhere else, and this will be unfortunate for us, it is what it is, but he's a kid from Surrey, brown kid from Surrey. All these things kind of do matter. And like, there's just way too much pressure on him to succeed here, which is ironic because none of the fans are putting pressure on him. It's just himself. And I wonder, Trevor, if like he, not to say that he knows the writings on the wall, but like he's such a young guy, and he, like, again, like this guy's so connected to his family and whatnot, and knowing that like, wow, I could be put on waivers and be picked up and shipped off somewhere else. I'm pretty sure you just got engaged and all that stuff. Like it's a lot going on in the young man's mind, and I don't know. Like I look at that Canucks locker room too. It doesn't seem like the tightest of teams. This is not the environment to be nervous in, and he's just, again, not. it's been a disappointing campaign for RG Baines. Like,
yeah, and it's too bad because I thought he looked pretty good in training camp, looked pretty good in preseason. All obviously got up to a very hot start with the team in that home opener against the Calgary Flames. Gets on the board with I think he had 2 assists in that game. Actually, 2 of his 3 assists this season. Looked great in the penalty kill, and that was his peak. That was his peak with the Vancouver Canucks so far this season, and it doesn't really look like it's going to change anytime soon. And look, that line with Sass and Baines and Carlson has just barely treaded water. Like they're against weak competition, they're a little under in terms of expected goals. They've been a little unlucky not to score more based on expected goals. But at the end of the day, it's just he's kind of just a guy out there not doing a whole lot. He hasn't been making as many mistakes as he was earlier on in the season, but he's not really generating much offensively either. He's had a couple chances here and there, but yeah, for the most part, he's not a guy you're really going to be worried about losing to the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah. And again, I wish the Canucks just had like more personable leaders outside of like Kiefer Sherwood. And I guess Connor Garland and Tyler Myers have that like ability to be personal and close knit, but they're a bit older. Not even just about being older, just a bit more serious and all that. And I don't know, just like that locker room. It's ironic how I can maybe complain about the leadership a bit, but at the same time, it's like, how come young guys like Mancini and Willander and at points DPD have been able to get it too? It's just one of those things. It's unfortunate for RG Baines, but the end is somewhat kind of near on his NHL experience with the Canucks this season, unless he picks it up. Like, you never know, but it's been somewhat disappointing. Anyways, let's get to the other side and read some comments. Talk about some of the practice notes, because again, Quinn Hughes did not practice. Preventable maintenance. No,
he's injured. He's injured. We'll get to that on the other side here on Locked On Canucks. All right, before we get back to it, let's shout out our friends over at FanDuel. Man, oh man, it's my daughter's favorite app. FanDuel.com, baby. Whether you're betting on NHL, NFL, NBA, or competitive figure skating, you can find it all on FanDuel. Even the PWHL, baby. By the way, the Vancouver Golden Knights favorites to win the Walter Cup next season. So if you're looking for another Vancouver team to cheer for, apparently they haven't even played a game yet, and they're already the favorites, man. That's PWHL Vancouver, the Golden Knights for you. I'm just looking at some of the lines tonight. What am I liking here, Kyle? How about the Anaheim Ducks underdogs? Even though they're the best team in the Pacific Division, underdogs tonight on the road against the Detroit Red Wings. That might be something I pick up. But whatever you're betting on, again, make sure you go do it on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get they get $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Man, oh man, the Sharks are heavy underdogs against the Calgary Flames tonight. What's going on? FanDuel. There's some good odds for you there. So go check it out on FanDuel.com and download the app today.
Okay, we back doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Let's read some comments because we are all locked on Canucks. Man, oh man. Mother Knucker asking if the Rougiette, that's who we're also sponsored by. Just like, we gotta help a brother out. He's asking if the code works in the States. He's asking for a friend. Rougiette again. It makes you hard. It just helps out. It's early Valentine's Day gift for your baby. I'm sure it works in the States.
It works in the States. It's actually a US based company.
There you go. Boom, bam. It is what it is. We just helped the brother out. Next comment. Calvin asking if Mancini is still injured. I think he's kind of back, Trevor, isn't he? Like,
he's traveling with the Canucks right now. He was at practice today as the 7th defenseman in the lineup. It's been a couple. I mean, we were told he's going to be out 7 to 10 days. It's been a little over 2 weeks. Yeah, because he was injured in that Edmonton game, but almost actually pushing 3 weeks now since he's been in the lineup. So, Mancini expected back soon. And man, oh man, if Quinn Hughes is injured, they could definitely use him in the lineup because the Canucks today. Of course, if you haven't heard, Quinn Hughes was not at practice, according to Sportsnet Dan Murphy. And it wasn't just a maintenance day. It's been reported that Quinn Hughes is out day to day right now with an injury. Would not be surprised in the slightest if it's what he suffered in that game against the Winnipeg Jets. Again, that the way he was clutching his arm and the way the arm was moving, it didn't look good. They probably drugged him up, taped him up, sent him back out on the ice. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
another bad sign for your Vancouver Canucks. No Demko, no Hughes, no hope unless we rebuild.
Or unless we have a miracle, man. Again,
That's
7
true.
straight wins.
I believe in miracles.
Yeah, it sucks. But do you think Quinn Hughes is gonna play tomorrow though? Like day to day, Dan said there's a chance they don't know if he's not gonna play tomorrow. Is this like the future of Quinn Hughes, like just not practicing and just playing games? Because he could do it. Like he could do it. Does that guy need practice? I don't know. Like he's an uber athlete. Like I saw a stat where in the last game he played on the homestand against the Jets, he had a 4.5-minute shift. No, like 4 minutes and 16 seconds, I think.
That's
No,
crazy.
no, real talk. Like I think that was
I think that was at the end of the game, right? Because they scored on the power play and then they took a timeout. And yeah, that's wild though. That's Quinn Hughes is a different beast. Now, do I think he's going to play tomorrow? I would lean towards no, because I think they worry about him getting more injured, right? And look, I know this Canucks teams, if they truly believe in making a playoff push, they need Quinn Hughes out there as much as possible. But they also can't risk further injury as well, right?
They don't give a shit, bro.
Of course they give a shit. What are you talking about? Yeah, they don't want him to be injured long term. That hurts his trade value. That hurts their playoff chances. They're going to take his health seriously, I think.
But look how they rolled out Thatcher Demko. I mean, it's so obvious that this guy's not 100%. And they're trying to tell us that he got injured within the game. Like, is that the truth, or did he get injured in warm up? Probably not, too. I'm saying, like, I don't know, man. Like, straight up, I don't trust anything these guys do with their injury management. And go watch Blue Line Hockey's latest episode. For real. Like he just dropped this yesterday. He did a whole report on how the Canucks have dished out their injury reports over the last like 6 or 7 years. And it's absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. So when you say things like, oh, like they're going to protect him and protect Quinn from himself and blah, blah. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think if he can like walk, he's going to play. Anyways, I want to run Canucksology before we get out of here, because this is really interesting. And maybe this kind of ties into like why the Canucks would need David Kampf right away. Where's the Cytology bump? Do you see it, Trevor? I'm kind of blind right now. Boom, bam, former, boom, bam. Okay, according to Bick Nazar, since 1977, the Canucks have the worst penalty kill of all time.
Yep.
So, you know, if you want to,
they were like that in one of the other seasons. Can you pull that up again? I wonder if they actually. I'm thinking of I think it was the Boudreau year. Are the Vancouver Canucks up there? No, it was 84, 85. But I think they snuck into like the low 70s. But I believe it was the Boudreau year. I ended up writing about it for Daily Hive, and yeah, the Canucks in December had like a 67% penalty kill, which was projected to be the worst of all time. And it's Groundhog Day in Vancouver here, man. Look.
Is there a positive? Is there a positive from that? Like, inevitably, that is going to flip just even a little, and that's like less goals against, and the Canucks are playing a little bit better 5-on-5. Like, if their I'm just saying if their penalty kill gets a little bit better, like, do we see more wins? Do we see this team win like 3 out of 4? You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. Kyle, I've said it before. This I don't see this team bottoming out unless they make moves. They're not going to bottom out. I mean, unless Lankinen, ends up being one of the worst goalies in the league, and I don't think that's the case. And I know this defense has really hung him out to dry this year. The save percentage doesn't look good, but in terms of goals saved above expected, Kevin Lankinen makes slightly below league average. I think his goals saved above expected is actually still positive. Look, this Canucks team is not bottoming out right now unless they make some moves. So yeah, the penalty kill is going to rebound a little bit. They should be maybe slightly better at 5-on-5. This team's going to be in the mushy middle until they make a move to change things.
And does David Kampf help their penalty kill? Like, is that
he does. Yeah, he's a good face-off man. During his last 3 years in Toronto, he was the leader among forwards in terms of ice time on the PK. So yeah, he would definitely help the penalty kill.
Well, there you go. David Kampf, the most important Vancouver Canuck acquisition of all time, because he helps keep Quinn Hughes in Vancouver, because winning fixes everything, and David Kampf is a winning player. And look, Toronto without David Kampf is a losing team. So do the math. We're We're about to win the NHL draft lottery. Sort of. My name's Kyle Bhawan. That right there's Trevor Beggs. Hit the like button, support the show. Sorry about the technical difficulties like 40 minutes ago. I'm glad we got that all fixed up. That's life. And, it's still go Canucks go, man. Trevor Beggs, sign us out.
Always, man. I mean, appreciate you and you for tuning in to this episode of Locked On Canucks. You can help us out by liking this goddamn show on YouTube, so hitting the subscribe button on the podcast side. You can follow us, leave a 5-star review, and we'll be back tomorrow here on Locked On Canucks.